Welcome back, guys. I hope you caught up on a lot of the stuff from yesterday. Replayed that for a few of you in case you missed it, and because BKP told me to. But I just wanted to give you guys one last chance. Say thank you for coming and watching the show today. Thank you for stopping by. Brian is going to be back tomorrow. No, this can't last forever. You know what they say about a good thing? You can't keep me around forever. But I did want to give you one last little taste tidbit before you go. I know, like I said, a lot of you guys have been reading the articles. You should expect a new one tomorrow. The question is, have you seen Wonder Woman yet? Did you go see it? Got held over at the Easttown Cinemas. They kept it. It did so well. A lot of reviews online saying it's such a good movie, but I'm starting to think, you're getting such good reviews. Are we grading on a curve here? Because I don't want to say it's a bad movie. I don't want to say it's a great movie. I loved Gal Gadot. She does a wonderful job. She makes a great Wonder Woman. Very strong, very action-oriented. Acting-wise, she does a great job bringing a comic book character to life. Something it's kind of hard to do nowadays, especially when you have such competition. You've got Robert Downey Jr., Chris going with Iron Man. You've got all these great actors and actresses going to such high levels with characters that we're so used to seeing in print. We're so used to seeing in comic books. And we all love comic books. So that's why the movies are doing so well. We all love the Iron Man. We all love the Hulk, the Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming coming out soon. I know a lot of you guys are excited about that. But at what point do you compare it to other movies, or do you compare it to other superhero movies? Because sure, based on the other DC movies, Wonder Woman stands out as the best DC movie so far. Sure. But at what point do you come to Wonder Woman and say, best DC movie so far, but do you grade it on movie scales in general, or do you just say, best DC movie and let's move on? It was fun. It was fun and funny. Sometimes it did have mild comedy in there. I really enjoyed it. Some of the situational humor, especially since it's a blending of cultures. You get the Amazonian princess coming into man's world, as they say in the movie. Lot of humor, situational humor that they really play up. Very well done. It's not overdone, which I really enjoyed. They don't rely on it too much. They more use it as a fallback to kind of ease some of the harsher tones of the movie. But you have that comedy. The movie is very long, it's almost 2.5 hours, I believe. So a lot of people say they didn't really like the runtime. Personally, I was okay with it. 2.5 hours really isn't that long, especially if you're a nerd like me and you're used to sitting for 3 or 4 hours for Lord of the Rings. But, let's not go there. But realistically, dealing with the runtime, if you know it's 2.5 hours, if you're okay with that, it's really not going to affect you. The story keeps pace and doesn't really make you think, oh my gosh, this is 2.5 hours, it's dragging on. So no problem there. It does take a little longer because it tries to put the origin story with an actual storyline, which if you read the comics, you're going to recognize the storyline with other gods, the Greek gods, the Olympians. You're going to recognize a lot of that. Even if you're not a Wonder Woman, just from Greek mythology, you'll pick up on a lot of the storyline there. But with that origin story on top of introducing the new characters, Steve Trevor, things like that, you get a lot of the character development, which I applaud. You really do get a good amount of character development in the story between Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, Diana Prince. So you get a lot of development there. That takes a little bit longer. So 2.5 hours, really not too long. And ultimately, if you guys read the Logan article, you read a lot of the superhero articles I've had so far, one of the big issues I have with superheroes is they just leave you hanging. You get all these movies that come in, and all they are is a build-up for the next movie. The great thing about DC is they haven't had the big movie yet. They haven't had the Justice League. We know it's coming. We're all excited. But Wonder Woman really does give you closure. It does a good storyline, wraps it up nice. You have a few things left that they build for the Justice League, but you're not sitting there worried trying to figure things out. They do the closure really well for a superhero movie. Good action, good comedy on the compound side of things, and really you do sort of get two movies in one. And I'm not just talking the action and the comedy. You get the origin story in a nice little 45-minute package, and then ultimately you bring that out into World War II. World War One. You bring that out into a whole different story as she comes over and she transitions to the new culture. You get all that. So with that compound movie, you sort of have two storylines to keep up with. Again, making it a little longer. That really seems to be a lot of people's issues with it. But one thing I like about this movie is Wonder Woman in the comics was always a great thing. Loved the Wonder Woman series, but a lot of people liked the Wonder Woman series because it was so different. You're not the usual rich guy Bruce Wayne in gadgets and whatever. You're not the overpowered Superman who, let's not go down that story. But you really get a different taste with Wonder Woman. Not only do you get the historical side of it with Greek mythology, but you really get a different taste of action. It's more down in the dirt, gritty action, hand-to-hand combat, stuff like that. But the one thing I did love about Wonder Woman was you maintained a quality of superhero power while also giving her the faults, the weaknesses that really kind of humanize, which I really think brings out a lot more of the Wonder Woman story. And I give Jenkins, the director Jenkins, a lot of credit for really portraying that well in the movie. Give the grandeur and the greatness of a superhero without overpowering her or overselling her. The one big issue I had is just she really plays off this real independent, strong woman, Miss Independent, and that's great. Except your first story is you running off with a guy, so a little iffy there. But otherwise, I did enjoy the movie. I'm not gonna say it's not a bad movie. I do think we're starting to grade on a curve, but if you're wondering if you should go see it, well, stick around. You'll see that article online tomorrow. You'll be able to catch up on the town again. You'll be able to catch up with me, catch up with the movie, and hopefully you might get two this week. Maybe I'll sneak out one day if Brian doesn't cage me up with movies with meetings and articles. We'll get out and maybe see The Mummy, and we'll tell you about that a little later in the week. I do want to thank you guys for joining today. I hope you enjoyed the encore presentation of Brian from yesterday. Stay with us tomorrow. Brian will be back. I know, can't keep a good thing. Brian will be back tomorrow, so tune in 8 o'clock sharp in the morning, and we'll see you then.